Great to have you here. I'd like to propose that we proceed as follows. Gowri will start giving his presentation of his research. That's to say, he will share his conclusions and his recommendations with us. And of course, he will tell us about his problem statements and the methods that you used. I guess your presentation will take 20 to 25 minutes. After that, you will have the opportunity to ask questions to Gowri. And after that, the Board of Examiners will take over and will start asking questions. And before I forget, allow me to introduce the members of the board. Second reader, I guess.
I'm the second supervisor. Indeed. Yes.
Martin de Jong, mine was the first supervisor.
And my name is Ernst ten Heuvelhof, and I'm the so-called thesis professor. And in that capacity, I'm chairing this meeting. After the board will retire for a few minutes, and we will discuss the quality of your research and the quality of your presentation. After a few minutes, the board will come back, and we will share with you our conclusions. And the whole ceremony will take, I guess, 60, 70 minutes. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Professor Ernst, for your kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. I'm Gowrishankar. My topic of research is opportunities and challenges for generating and regional innovation system for solar energy in one of the southern states in India called Tamil Nadu. This work is done with a field research study. Before I move on to the presentation, I would like to thank everyone for not only being supportive in my research, but also in the 2 years of my stay at TU Delft. A special mention to Indian Institute of Public Policy, Mr. Sundaram and Rajesh for giving me the internship opportunity and also connecting me to the best experts of the solar industry in Tamil Nadu. And Mr. Rajesh Ramesh also accompanied me to a few interviews, and the discussion post-interview was very, very constructive. And finally, my family for joining me, for taking time off and joining me for the presentation. Thank you so much. So, moving into the presentation, I'll first get you on board about the topic of my research, how I did it, why I did it, what are the results, and what can be the future work. So, India. India is one of the world's fastest growing economy. It surpassed China in Q4 of 2014. Government initiatives such as Make in India allow people or the global players from different markets to come and invest in India to grow their business and expand it. And India is increasingly dependent on energy imports. This has increased to 38% in 2012, and India is also the third largest greenhouse emitting country. We are a population of 1.25 billion, and about 33% of them do not have any access to electricity. So hence, India is cognizant of the compelling needs to address carbon emissions, to reduce carbon emissions, and also address energy security. Coming to Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu is the second largest economy in India with a GDP of $150 billion. It houses more than 10.5% of the business enterprises in the country. The wind energy of Tamil Nadu is in the top 10 in the world in terms of installed capacity of close to about 7,500 megawatts. However, not only India, but both India and Tamil Nadu face a power shortage, and the power shortage in Tamil Nadu is about 1 gigawatt. So we need to look at a sustained solution, and for that we use solar energy. As you can see from the picture, India, there is abundance of resources, solar radiation potential throughout the country, and the National Solar Mission target aims to install 100,000 megawatts by 2022. However, the installed capacity currently is only about 4 gigawatts, and 50% of the installed capacity is in states of Gujarat and Rajasthan. In Tamil Nadu also has a similar solar potential with about 5.3 sun hours per day with 300 clear sunny days. The Tamil Nadu solar policy was introduced in 2012 with the target of achieving 3,000 megawatts by 2015. but it's a very sorry state that they have achieved only about 160, that is 5% of the set target. So we must find out what are the reasons for the lack of growth and how are we going to approach it to resolve this issue. So for this, I had to frame a set of research questions, and what is the framework, what are the available technologies, what policies influence the innovation system, who are the actors and what role do they play, what are the factors that either boost or impedes the dissemination of the technology, and finally what recommendations can be done to improve the solar ecosystem. So moving on. So the research framework, what is an innovation system? Innovation system is a set of actors, networks, institutions who interact, initiate and bring in new technologies into the market. There are 4 types: national innovation system, regional innovation system, sectoral innovation system, and technological innovation system. RIS as regional innovation system is a set of economic, political and institutional relationships that learn from a learning process and bring in to the process of diffusion of knowledge products into the market. It is both a theoretical concept and a policy objective, and it is very important to consider the influence of the stakeholders not only within the state of Tamil Nadu but also from the outside, and same is the case with policy. So the suitable framework that I chose for my research is a combination of TIS and RIS, where technology is solar PV in specific and region is Tamil Nadu. I will not be going in depth among all the functions, but innovation system is a very broad, has broad 7 functions ranging from R&D activities, goals, targets, support schemes, size of the market, the amount of available resources, available of human capital, etc. So I have to first map the stakeholders to see who are they and what roles they play. So I categorize them into 6 categories. 1, technology producers and suppliers. They are the prime movers of the solar industry who bring in the market to the consumers. The premier or the big players in the solar market in Tamil Nadu are Sun Edison, Iclon, Bonfigure, Leap, etc. 2, knowledge institutions. They involve themselves with R&D activities, driving innovations, filing patents, organizing conferences, etc. The premier institutions in Tamil Nadu are IIT Madras, Anna University and NIT Trichy. 3, advisory organizations. They are involved with assisting the government not only in technical but also policy aspects, and some of them also organize training facilities in Tamil Nadu. Investors can be both from the private sector as well as the public sector, and they provide repeat loan terms to renewable energy projects. 5, governmental organizations. They play a big role in any industry or any nation, and they not only regulate the tariff of the generated power, but they also set targets and distribute and generate electricity. Finally, consumers are the ones who are benefited by it, and they play the role of adopting the technology and disseminating awareness. Move on to the policy instruments. As I said, we need to take in the influence of both national and state level. As I mentioned, we had the National Solar Mission, and the other one is National Rural Electrification Policy, which aims to give access to electricity to all the rural and remote areas. Boiling down to the state level, apart from the Tamil Nadu solar policy, we also have the Chief Minister's rooftop capital incentive scheme, which gives a capital subsidy of an additional 20% apart from the central level. So, to complement the data from the literature, I also had to do an empirical data collection, and for this I was in India for a period of 2 months during May and June. And the process that I followed for my data collection was 2. One is formal interviews, another one is structured survey. I happened to interview 23 different stakeholders from the 6 categories as I mentioned previously, and I managed to collect 68 survey responses. And I also got a good opportunity to attend the government-held meetings, such as the Grid Interactive Rooftop. I have a picture and I will show you later. And the other one is a solar exhibition. So the interviews, The interviews was conducted through personal one-to-one, or when the interviewees weren't able to make it, weren't able to give me time for a personal one-to-one, I'll be scheduled through Skype and T-cons. And it is notable that the interviewees, some of the interviewees belong to the top management positions, such as the CEO, chairman, managing director, co-founders, founders, etc. The location of the interview was in 4 cities: Chennai, Coimbatore, Pondicherry, and one from Bangalore, which takes the influence of stakeholders outside the state. Survey. So survey was conducted as an anonymous survey. The survey respondents were the channel partners enlisted by the Tamil Nadu Energy Development Agency and also the stakeholders interviewed. And they were the responses were received on a 5-point scale from strongly agree to strongly disagree. The location of the respondents were maximum from Chennai. As I told you, most of my stakeholder or responses to the survey belong to the category of technology producers and suppliers. So now we need to approach the analysis for the survey. So for this, the survey questionnaire was constructed in 4 categories, addressing the technological factors, economic and financial, policy and institutional, and market awareness and information. So the measurement scaling that I used for this was 2, percentage method and weighted average. What is weighted average? You have the frequency of the responses and you have a corresponding Likert score. You multiply them and you average them by the number of respondents and you get a weighted average. And comparing with the table, all the factors which score above 3.5 are considered as barriers. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but the survey was aimed only to focus on the reasons for the lack of growth, or rather barriers. So hence the dual method of data collection was used to assess and analyze the innovation system. So before we analyze the innovation system, we need to have a benchmark. So Gujarat, as I mentioned earlier, has a good solar installed capacity of close to 1000 megawatts, whereas Tamil Nadu is just 150, 160. So hence Gujarat is taken as a benchmark and a qualitative analysis is done. So the picture here is a solar park in Gujarat. It has a capacity of close to 300, 400 megawatts and is one of the biggest in Asia. This is a pilot, it's not a pilot project, but it's an innovative experiment done by Sun Edison, where they installed solar panels on the canal. It not only generated electricity, but also it saves annually close to about 10 billion liters of water from evaporating, which is pretty innovative. So comparison of the innovation system, I'll be explaining only 3 out of the 7. One is R&D activities. The R&D activities in Gujarat is being supported financially by the Ministry of Renewable Energy from the Government of India, and also they organize summits, conferences, and invite people from different across the globe to give keynote addresses, which is very effective in terms of information and knowledge transfer, whereas Tamil Nadu performs quite low in this factor. So moving to the availability of capital it is a very sorry state that I have to say this, that Tamil Nadu Generation and Distribution Company, which is a DISCOM, it has an outstanding debt of $2.2 billion. So it definitely performs low. In terms of development of positive externalities or the strength of the political power, Gujarat, recently they have launched a policy where they loop in the agriculturists for lending out the land to earn some additional income. And also this have to mention that Gujarat is a government-driven market, but whereas Tamil Nadu is purely a private-driven market. So this function also performs low. So while we assess the performance, now we have to drill down to find out what are the factors which have been preventing the growth, or some of the factors which also have been conducive. This is a sample of the survey for market awareness and information. As I mentioned, we have the frequency responses. From this we calculate the weighted average, and we take an average of the overall factor, and this reads 3.78, indicating that entire factor is a barrier. So from this, you can see when you plot it on a column chart, you can find that the economic and financial factor is the barrier. It's the predominant one compared to the other with a score of 4, followed by market awareness information, institutional policy, but technological is just 3.29, indicating that it's below 3.5, indicating that it is not a barrier. However, if we drill down and do a deep dive analysis, we find that for technological factor, there are some responses which are on both sides of the spectrum. That means there are some factors which act as a barrier. Similar is the case with economic and institutional policy. However, if we see market awareness and information, it has a sharp bell curve, indicating that all the respondents for all the factors are consistent while evaluating this factor. This is very important for arriving at the barriers and also addressing the policy issues and recommending. So we have three drivers: abundance of resources, aggressive central and state policy, and the demand supply of power. The barriers are all from all the 4 sections: lack of infrastructure and net metering facilities, lack of collaboration between the stakeholders, difficulty in acquiring land, lack of awareness campaigns and information. So we move to the next section of what are the policy issues which can be arrived and what recommendations can be given. One is net metering facility. So currently not all the segments of the consumers are included in it. So the recommendation which is suggested is include everyone, and also increase the export credit from 90% to 100% of the imported energy. 2, renewable purchase obligations. In the field research, it was identified that Tamil Nadu, or the TNREC, which is Tamil Nadu Electricity Regulatory Commission, have no background information for setting the targets. So hence, it is recommended that it should be based on emission reduction targets, and it should be annually increased to 1%, so that Tamil Nadu, if to achieve 5,000 megawatts by 2022, the RPO be 8.5%. And also they can leverage some of the good practices from Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, or Madhya Pradesh, who have who impose strict penalties in case of a shortfall of the RPO. 3, land acquisition. Unlike the other states in India, Tamil Nadu is very conducive for the agriculturalists in terms of very fertile land. So this is the wasteland map of Tamil Nadu. The white spots regions, they show the non-wasteland. Only 7% of the available land is wasteland in Tamil Nadu, and this is the green energy corridor map, which it's aimed to improve the transmission capacity all across India, and billions of dollars are being pumped in. So what is being suggested is superimpose both the maps so that you know which areas can be best suited for the utility scale projects. Other issues, in terms of economic and financial, it is suggested that they give lower interest rates with longer tenure. And the second one is something new which I added on. There exists a national clean energy fund where in the union budget a certain amount of resources is allocated, but there's nothing for the state funds. So hence from the next state budget, it is suggested that they allocate some resources towards clean energy fund in the state. 2, collaboration and awareness aspect. The entire stakeholders should develop some sort of mechanism to handhold together and facilitate collaborative projects. And also the workshops and road shows must be conducted not only in the city areas, but also in rural villages and districts. 3, institutional aspect. The TNREC, which regulates the tariff, has revised their targets twice in the last 3 years. This has led to confusion among the stakeholders in Tamil Nadu. So they have to clarify in uncertainty of the policies, and it is also suggested that the state capital subsidy be scrapped and instead lower interest rate with longer tenure be given. So this is the meeting that I attended. He's Mr. Twan. He's a Dutch, and he has settled in Oroville for the last 30 years, and he was one of my interviewees. The person next to him is the chairman managing director of Tamil Nadu Energy Development Agency. So to wrap it up, we discussed which framework is the best for Tamil Nadu, which actor network institutions are existent in Tamil Nadu, what are the policy instruments from the state level and the central level, what are the key drivers, what are the crucial barriers, what are the policy issues, what recommendations have been given, and also the other issues and recommendations. So this is something for future work. One is conduct samples of interviews from all the different stakeholders. This is something that Tamil Nadu has to do, a detailed roadmap assessment where they identify the potential districts, study the district in terms of infrastructural capacity and resources, and then do a feasibility test, and once that is done, then you can go ahead, call for bids and sign power purchase agreements. 3. This is something we discussed towards the end, and I'm sorry that I could not add it earlier to my theoretical framework. In any developing country context, social elements such as corruption, faiths, beliefs, caste, norms, values play a huge role. So that must be studied, and that can be studied by using cross-cultural framework, good governance assessment, corruption indicators, and these are the few things that can be done in the government. And also, in the beginning, I had an idea of presenting a couple of journal papers in my defense, but it's under construction, and I'll get back to you for it. So, in a capsule, renewable energy is a long-term game. Invest billions today to give trillions to your future generation. Hartelijk bedankt dat een jullie gekomen. Mika nandri. Thank you all for your patient listening. Have a very good day.
Very much. Particularly for your great Dutch.
It was really
Great download.
Dear friends, any questions from you?
I have a serious question. Yeah. You mentioned Tamil Nadu is attractive for agronomists.
Yeah.
The agricultural land. To what extent is that a problem? And isn't there a hazard of giving up food for solar panels? Did you look at that?
But I wouldn't say that you would do that, because that's like their livelihood, a source of income. So that is why Tamil Nadu is trying to promote rooftop systems, and it is also projected that Tamil Nadu will be the top third state in by 2022 in terms of rooftop installation capacity.
You spoke about the different schemes implemented at the national level and the state level. Through your research, have you been able to conclude how well the two, the national level and the state level schemes work together? Do they work in collaboration, or?
Okay. So for this point, I did address it in my report. So what is currently happening is, in terms of the national solar target, it is being installed, as I said, 50% across Gujarat and Rajasthan. But Tamil Nadu government is not so collaborative with them for them to come and install projects, and there are a lot of uncertainties in the changes in the government. This was one of the articles which was published recently. The previous government, the current government, blamed the previous government in power for signing large tariff rates for solar projects, and currently the current government in power has signed MOU for 1,000 megawatts, but with Adani Group for a rate of 7.01 per unit. But the same group in Madhya Pradesh have signed bids for 5.76. So the opposition party has come up and said, why are you signing it? It should be stopped and it's put on hold. So it is. I definitely find there is an imbalance in it, and the national and the state are not working together.
Yeah.
Do you see any chance that there will be 5,000 megawatts in 2020?
Yes, I believe so.
Really?
Yeah.
Because right now you say there are a lot of things.
There are a lot of challenges, but we're addressing the.
Or maybe let me reframe the question then. Do you see that things that people collaborate a bit more right now, or do you still see that because you had a lot of dysfunctions? This was low, medium. Do you see that things are changing right now, or?
Yes, things are changing because it's one of the institutions it will be setting up a Madras chapter called Solar Power Developers Association, and bring in all the collaborators together. And in terms of your first question, which is more towards achieving, I would say yes, because currently companies like Wellspin have commissioned projects. Have commissioned projects, but it's still not started working for about 500-600 megawatts. So it is improving, and also my entire thesis work, after a little bit of modifications and a little work, will be published to the state government of Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Is there also wind power potential in Tamil Nadu?
I showed you in the first slide, Tamil Nadu is one of the top 10, but this is a very sorry fact that because wind is seasonal in Tamil Nadu, only 6 months they can generate enough electricity, and the state government has asked the wind generators or developers to turn off their wind turbines because they don't have the grid facilities are not so conducive for taking in the supply from wind.
One more question, and then we go to the board.
I want to ask you, when you were talking about the results from your analysis of the functions of innovation systems, you said that compared to Gujarat, Gujarat is a more policy-driven economy, whereas in Tamil Nadu it's more market-driven economy. And you kind of mentioned that as a negative aspect, and I just wanted to ask you, do you think a more market-driven economy is a negative thing, or did I misunderstand you?
It is not a negative thing, it is good for Gujarat because they are trying to bring in everyone together to the agro solar policy where they bring in agriculturalists into the policy. But in terms of Tamil Nadu, it's just a government, it's a private driven market where the private, like people like you, me, take initiatives and try to run the project developments. But the state has very less amount of influence on this. But I hope it's going to be increased in a few coming years. Did I answer your question, or?
I mean, do you think that's a negative thing?
It's not. I wouldn't say it's negative. See, it's positive for Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu can leverage the best practices from them.
Thank you. We go to the board.